Hello my friends and welcome back to another Brotato Danger 5 New Dawn run. Hope you're all doing well. Today, it's been a long time since I've played a run with one of my favorite weapons, and a lot of times when I've done it, it's been with characters that it doesn't really work for, so today we're going to do a run with the Shuriken. Shuriken's super fun because critical hits are fun, bouncing weapons are fun, and the sheer chaos that you get is amazing, so we're going to play the crazy with the Shuriken and just go nuts. I really like this weapon, even though it doesn't work on every character, because it's a low damage weapon, so you do have to get strong enough that you can clear all of the waves really easily. But when you do, it's just incredibly fun and satisfying, so it's really enjoyable to play. We do start with the extra knife with the crazy as well, but we're going to sell that to focus on just shurikens. And the knife is mostly useful if a tree spawns, because it lets you kill in wave 1, because it lets you kill the tree without giving up any clear speed. Here I'm going to roll, and we'll take 5 harvesting, and then we'll go ahead and sell the knife, we'll buy a shuriken, we'll lock weird food. I'll leave weird ghost in the pool, but I don't think it's worth locking at this point. Boxing glove I'm just going to ban, it's a very weak item overall. Lemonade will lock as well, so now we've got really good consumable heal available. Do some rerolls, and alright, we got a little unlucky rolling for shurikens. Precise is a fairly large weapon tag, but you should usually find 4 and be able to lock a 5th, because it's such a cheap weapon as well, so we're a little bit behind. That's definitely not great, because this is a weapon that really, really wants to be leveled up. Not only does the damage scaling from melee damage increase as you level it, the number of bounces and the critical hit chance all increase, so your wave clear is very dependent on your weapon levels when you're playing a shuriken build, so rolling aggressively and finding shurikens early is really important. Here, I'll roll again, and we'll take 5 more harvesting, we'll buy a shuriken, and then we'll do some re-rolling, okay. Alright game. Well, this is really unfortunate, so I could buy the lemonade, but because we've only found 4 shurikens, but I am going to reroll because we've got to find more. And while we had guaranteed weapons was our best chance to do that. We got very, very unlucky in the first 2 shops on weapon levels. Usually, you should be able to find 6 shurikens by wave 3, and we didn't. We're 2 behind that metric. So not only is our clear speed lower for these waves, it's going to make it much harder to get weapon levels later on, where weapon levels are just harder to find. I'm going to go ahead and ban Feather. We're never building dodge, because we start with minus 30% dodge. We don't want to lose 3% XP gain, so let's just get this out of here. We'll roll, we'll buy 5 more harvesting, and then I will roll again. One more time. I'll take 2 melee damage here. Luck, crit chance, or harvesting would all harvesting would be better. Luck or crit chance would be fine to pick up there, but the melee damage is also really important. Even though Shuriken has low melee damage scaling, it's only 25% at level 1. You have to remember that this damage is applied on every single bounce, so the scaling is a little better than it looks like just sort of at first, because it's applied multiple times over. So when we get +1 damage on our shuriken, it's sort of like getting +2 damage, because we're going to be hitting 2 things with it. And then as we level that further and the scaling gets better, the number of bounces also increase, so the damage scaling increases further. This is also just a really low damage weapon, so you need to focus on increasing its damage as quickly as possible. We found a 5th shuriken, which is good. We did find a fertilizer, which, of course, will lower our melee damage by 1, but is still worth buying. So, I would say that we're not in amazing shape. We're definitely behind in terms of weapon levels compared to where you would normally want to be, but we got both Curse Alien kills, so we're still making okay money for wave 4. Here, I have a harvesting item locked in the shop, so I don't particularly need to roll for harvesting. I could take armor, lifesteal, attack speed. Lifesteal, of course, is how we're going to heal on this build. I think, or I could reroll for melee damage. Harvesting we would still take. Luck I would take over attack speed or armor. But really it's melee damage, harvesting, or luck that I would take over these 2. I think I'm just going to take the 10% attack speed. And then here I'll take 5 harvesting, even though I have the fertilizer in the pool. Just getting this high early, of course, is really good. We'll finish out our weapon set, which completes the precise weapon tag. Now our shurikens will bounce half the times that we throw them, which is really important. We'll ban the landmines here, and then we'll roll. Finally get to start leveling our shurikens. Cyberball I'm not going to buy, but I want to focus my bans on level 1 items mostly, I think, so I'll pass on banning that. And then this is great. We're too short of being able to buy the beanie and the shuriken, but I do want both of these items. So let's go ahead and buy the shuriken, lock the beanie, and then we'll still have a guaranteed weapon slot. Oh no, this is wave 5, so we won't have a guaranteed weapon slot. But we're still just more likely to roll into other weapons. Killing the clams here, and then we're going to get the curse alien kills. I need to try to make enough money that we can buy out all the items that we have locked, which is going to be close, but I think we should get there. 186. I'll take the lifesteal, of course. We definitely want that, and here I'll just take 2 melee damage. I really need to improve that. Okay, nice. We got our shuriken, we got the beanie, and I can't buy both Mastery and Fruit Basket, so let's buy the Mastery. It's going to help more. The Lens we can ban safely. Sharp Bullet we can buy. This is a really nice item for us because although Piercing would normally decrease the damage of our bounces, it doesn't work like that for weapons with inherent bouncing. So you don't have to worry about... or rather, normally, if you buy Ricochet, then most weapons have an inherent minus 50% penalty to their bounce damage. Let me just clarify what I'm saying here. So Ricochet on weapons that don't naturally have bouncing is going to reduce the subsequent damage of bounces by 50%. Since Pierce happens after bounce, for most characters, you don't want to buy bouncing shots and piercing shots on the same character. If you're using a weapon like Shuriken or Slingshot that has inherent bouncing, that isn't true because the bounces do full damage. So piercing is still good for us. It just increases our AoE damage overall. Hopefully that makes more sense because I started saying some stuff that was pretty hard to understand there. I'll take 2 lifesteal just to make sure we have some more healing. We'll buy a bag and a fruit basket, and then we'll roll. The Cursed Snake, obviously Snake is itself not a good item for us. Although maybe we could do some kind of weird setup with a Scared Sausage if we got an Ice Cube or something. Do I want to spend 40 just on 2 Curse? I think I do, but I'll buy the Gentle Alien and the Lost Duck first. Those, I think, will be more economy. The Goat Skull here, I do need to boost my melee damage, but losing crit chance on this weapon is really bad. So I'm going to go ahead and ban the Goat Skull, and then I'll do a reroll here, and then we'll lock Fertilizer and a level 3 Shuriken, which is an awesome item to find. So I still need more melee damage, though finding that Mastery pretty early was really nice. Obviously, the best things that I could find, well, the best item I could find is probably Hunting Trophy or Black Flag. Which is always broken. But Hunting Trophy would be amazing, given that we are a critical hit build. The extra range on the Crazy with precise weapons is pretty nice for shurikens, too, because they have pretty good natural range. So you actually end up with a lot of range. And that can let you play a little safer against elites, which are otherwise somewhat difficult with this weapon. Our single target damage is, of course, fairly low, but when you can play far away from them, you can clear them much more safely. Fresh meat we'll take. Now we have 6% lifesteal. That's pretty good. I have no armor currently, so I'll take melee damage or armor. I might need to take max HP, though. I have 21 max HP on wave 7. I think I'm going to take the 3 armor. I think we can find max health more easily than we can find armor. We'll buy the fertilizer, we'll combine, we'll buy a shuriken, we'll buy a snake, we'll reroll here, Capping my max health at 20 for only 8 melee damage, I just don't think is makes any sense. If we were a build that actually got full damage scaling off of buying damage, then we could consider buying the handcuffs. But we're never going to kill the elite fast enough for 20 HP to be survivable, so we're going to pass on that item here. Clockwork Wasp, I will lock because I need more move speed. Actually, I don't really need move speed. I'm going to ban Plant because we're building Lifesteal. And I've got 9 move speed already, so I could ban the Clockwork Wasp, but I'm going to save my ban for level 1 items. So I do have a snake, a cursed snake, so if we get Scared Sausage and a bunch of elemental damage or an incendiary turret, we could maybe use those. I don't think that's going to be a priority, and we almost certainly will not end up building around that setup. We just need to focus on dealing melee damage and increasing my HP especially. I also have low percent damage currently, and my attack speed is good, but could definitely be better. So a lot of other stats that I need more than kind of random purchases of Scared Sausages. Boiling Water, we're just going to ban. Broken Mouth, excellent. That's exactly what we needed. My percent damage is at -2, so let's take 8% damage here. We'll buy a tree. We'll upgrade our Shurikens. We're still getting some good levels on our Shurikens. I can buy the Wheelbarrow, and we'll buy Fishhook as well, and then reroll. Baby Gecko is really nice. Beanie and Little Muscly Dude, these are all really nice. And I'm going to roll one more time. I was hoping that we would roll into a Shuriken there to lock for our Fishhook. Rerolling with one item and one slot in the shop is obviously low value, but when you have Fishhook, being able to lock items is really good, so I felt like it was worth spending 15 on that, especially because if we get a cursed weapon, then that would be such a huge bonus for the character. Hoping we get one of those 3 items cursed, though that's only 20% compounded 3 times, so the odds still are not incredible. Making sure to clear as many of these cursed enemies as possible, but what I really need is to just, yeah, I was really hoping we would find a crit chance boost. The penguin, we have negative regeneration, so we're just going to recycle that, and then my crit chance on my level 3 shurikens is 69%, so tragic to break that, but I'll take 7 more crit chance. And then I think I want 3 armor over 4 melee damage. Both of these are tempting, but we'll just take the higher level upgrade. We missed on our fishhook, of course. Just to be expected there. Ooh, a cursed decomposing flesh. We don't actually need that much more lifesteal, but this is a great way to get it. So we're definitely taking that. Piggy Bank and Clockwork Wasp, we're going to pass on at this point. Losing a melee damage for the Peaceful Bee, and we can't use the dodge, I just don't think is worth it, so let's reroll here. Cursed Barnacle would be excellent. A Cursed Pearl, if I could get that, would be awesome as well. So I could buy the Pearl, or I could lock it and try to get it cursed. I think I'm just going to buy it, though. Usually, you don't want to try to curse specific items. You should just buy items that are going to be good. Obviously, if the Barnacle gets cursed, we'll be very happy that we used our pity bonus on that, but if it doesn't, we'll just buy it anyways. I wouldn't mind a pumpkin to go with our sharp bullet, because my piercing shots themselves are not doing that much damage because we have pierce damage reduction. But now that I've got a little more crit chance, we are killing a lot more enemies. I do need to be careful about blobfish because they put a lot of HP, just total HP on the field when one of them spawns. And that can make this character, that can give this character some difficulty because our damage is dealt pretty randomly all over the map. So what we care about is more or less the total amount of enemy health and whether we have enough damage to get through it. And as you saw there, we didn't quite. So we gave up some wave clear on wave 10 here. I'll take 5% more crit chance. We did not get the Barnacle Curse, but we'll buy it anyways. We'll buy a Lemonade. We'll roll. Okay, well, we randomly rolled into a Cursed Shuriken, so I'll definitely take that. The Cursed Shuriken has better damage scaling, which is really important for Shuriken. It's by, what's that, 17%? So that's actually a pretty big deal. I'll take the head injury and the claw tree, although I do need more HP. And then here, very happy to see the pumpkin. I'll buy the lumberjack shirt just to reduce the amount of health we have to get through. Blood leech we don't need because I have the decomposing flesh, so I'm going to get 2 more lifesteal next wave as soon as we level up. And then I'm going to re-roll a couple more times and try to lock some stuff. Okay, well, new plan. I'm going to buy the Gatling laser. Obviously, we're going to buy Gatling laser, even though we have negative ranged damage, especially if it gets cursed. But this is just so awesome. We're definitely going to buy it. I might not be able to buy it before next wave, because I don't think we're going to make enough money this wave to pick it up. But we'll definitely buy the legendary weapon. So I'll need some ranged damage to offset our ranged damage penalty. I have banned some ranged damage items, but we should be able to pick up some. And even if the Gatling laser is only doing 1 damage a shot, it will honestly still be pretty good for us, I think. If nothing else, it gives us infinite free healing from lifesteal. So this wave is always going to be a little tricky because it's a mantis shrimp wave, and with shurikens, that's a lot of damage that you aren't doing because the mantis shrimp reduce incoming damage, as do the healers, and then they will also heal up some of that reduced damage, so they're multiplied in effectiveness. I actually almost died there because my HP is really terrible. We did hit level 15 though, so I'm going to roll here, and we'll roll for some maximum health. I really want the melee damage as well, but I've got to take max health. We had 32. Okay, the Gatling laser got cursed. Excellent. I am going to buy all of these items because I can't afford the Gatling laser anyways. And I do need enough damage to be able to kill the elite or at least survive. I'll buy the claw tree here, lock the weird food, do 1 more reroll, and then I'll lock the shuriken. The baby squid will just never give us enough HP regen, and we already have a bunch of lifesteal, so I'm not going to focus on that. The nice thing about being a shuriken build and fighting elites is even though we kill the elites slowly, we don't have to worry that much about the other stuff on the field because our bouncing shots will just take care of that, so we can just consistently focus damage on the elite and not really have to worry about what else is happening as long as we have enough damage built up, which we did manage to do. Just trying not to get overwhelmed by like the cursed lamprey spawning. We need to worry about the extra health because there was a loot alien there. There's also another blobfish that just died, so a few things that I had to pay attention to, but mostly just dodging the elite attacks, and we were able to just kill everything just by bouncing shots around. I don't know that we're going to have enough money to buy the cursed Gatling laser this wave either, but yeah, we won't quite, but we'll get there. Spider, I guess I'll take. We need percent damage, we need attack speed, and I don't care about dodge. Losing harvesting at this point doesn't matter. That's a free pearl, so our pearl purchase paying off. This is elemental, not ranged damage, so we're recycling that. Here, I'll take 2 armor, and then I guess I'll take 20 luck. I was sort of hoping for a ranged damage upgrade to appear. This shop, I'm going to save my money mostly, so I guess I'll buy the weird food. I'll do a reroll, I'll lock all of these other items, and then we can buy the Gatling laser next wave. I'm genuinely curious if we'll be able to get the Gatling laser to do anything, because we have negative 13 ranged damage, but, you know, I'm gonna give it a try. The other challenge that you do have with bouncing weapons on Abyssal Terrors is that the Stargazers have a lot more health than the towers. And when you do your damage pretty evenly across the map, it's much easier to kill the towers and then buff the Stargazers than to kill the Stargazers before the tower dies. So that's always going to just increase, again, the total amount of enemy health that you have to deal with. Mastery, I'm going to recycle. So normally we would be thrilled with this on a Shuriken build, but we're going Gatling Laser. I'll take the Scared Sausage. We talked about how that could be okay. And here I'll take 8 melee damage. Again, I would have preferred to buy ranged damage now, because this is still just going to be 1 damage a shot. But I think we'll be able to get there. Here I will buy the Cursed Bone Dice, and I'll leave the Shuriken locked. I'll buy the Tentacle. You know what? Cursed Pocket Factory would also be fun. Let's buy Ugly Tooth. We'll lock the Cauldron, and I'll do a couple rerolls. Ooh, Cursed Candy Bag. That could be great as well. So this has turned into a really sick run. The Gatling Laser also has a lot of knockback, which is fun, too. You can see it's, like, slowly shoving enemies away. So yeah, so all I need is just a little bit of range damage to offset the damage penalties that this character has for ranged weapons. And the Gatling Laser will start doing a lot. We also do have Scared Sausage with our snake, so if we get Fried Rice, if we get Greek Fire, if we get... Ice Cube would be the best one. Those items are worth picking up now. Since we now do elemental damage. Leather Vest is great. We definitely need the armor. So although I lose 3 max HP, we're still happy with it. I'll take 20 attack speed. The 1 ranged damage isn't amazing, but the Candy Bag giving us 12 random points of stats, that's actually going to matter a lot, because that will include ranged damage, which is often hard to buy at good rates, especially when you've banned a bunch of the best ranged damage items. So the Candy Bag is really nice here. And a roll and a Cursed Celery Tea I will also take, and we'll roll one more time. Cursed Alienize, even if the Alienize gets cursed, we won't take it. So let's go to the next wave. I didn't see if we got any ranged damage there. I'll check after, but for now I am trying to dodge the double elite spawn from the Candy Bag. Ouch. Took that damage, so I need to make sure that I am healing quickly. With all of our lifesteal, that shouldn't be too big a problem, but the fact that this is double elite means that we might not kill either of them or both of them, because we're splitting our damage a little bit more than we normally would, and of course I have to play much safer than I normally would as well, because there's 2 elites. So I won't be able to focus damage on the elites as much as we would like, and probably won't get either kill. That's fine, though. We survived. I've got 20% lifesteal. I'm going to recycle the Blood Leech. I'll take 4 ranged damage here, so that'll help make our Gatling Laser actually good. It looks like we got 1 ranged damage there, right? Or 2? Yeah, we were at minus 13, and then I picked up 4 more. So now it does 5 damage a shot. That's not bad at all. Our Shuriken is still refusing to get cursed here, but that's okay. We'll just go ahead and buy it. We'll reroll. I'll lock all of these items, because any of them cursed would be great, and they're still good even if we don't find the cursed versions. I think we got 1 more ranged damage there, so the Candy Bag really paying off. It is unfortunate that it cost me the elite kill last wave. but it's turning the Gatling laser into a powerful weapon. The downside of Candy Bag for this character is one of the stats that you are often hoping to get from it is dodge, and this character has really low dodge, but we can use melee damage, we can use ranged damage, we can of course use armor. HP is also not bad because my max HP is terrible, so HP is normally a fairly low value roll off the Candy Bag, but for this character isn't bad because we just need more max HP. You can also see the high health of the buff Stargazers really happening here as the bouncing shots are killing them, like I talked about earlier. So the Candy Bag actually has a lot of good rolls for this character since we use so many stats. The laser turret for 46, I'm just going to recycle. Medical turret, we don't need more healing. I'm going to recycle that as well. Let's do a couple rerolls here. I guess I'll just take 10% damage, and then my move speed is fine. I'm going to roll again and one more time. Okay, 5 armor. That's what we really needed, was just to boost my armor. The tentacle is not really the weapon I would have chosen, or the item I would have chosen to get cursed, but it is still not bad. Let's go ahead and keep upgrading our shurikens. We'll buy scope as well, because losing the attack speed is obviously painful, but flat ranged damage matters so much for this cursed Gatling laser, which scales with 136% of our ranged damage. Kraken's Eye, a great thing to lock, and effective steroids and duct tape I will lock as well. Now, we should, even if we get a double elite, we should be fine to kill the elites, because our Gatling laser will be outputting great damage this wave. What a wild run this has been. I was expecting just a nice, clean Shuriken run, but this one's been even more awesome. I will say that this is a good example of how, when you're playing a character and weapon that synergize and are strong, you can get greedier and do wackier things, because we were ahead enough that I could, spend a bunch of money on a Gatling laser that didn't really do anything when we bought it, that we could afford to buy speculative items without losing the run, because we're playing a character and weapon that synergize, and knowing when you are able to get away with that is a very important skill in this game. I'll take the diploma, I think. The XP gain, yeah, we'll get an extra level off of it. Ooh, nice. Giant's Belt, that'll help me kill elites so much faster. Let's do a couple rerolls here. 27 attack speed is perfect. The Cursed Kraken's Eye is exactly what we needed as well, because my max HP was pretty bad. So getting the Cursed Kraken's Eye gives us 18 more max health. We'll keep boosting our armor, and Fin, I will take 6% more lifesteal. Starfish I'll grab as well. My percent damage is pretty bad, so I'll lock the missile also. Go to the next wave here. Sad we didn't get a chance of an elite. We didn't get the elite spawn here. We did get a little unlucky that the only extra elite we've gotten was on our wave that already had an elite, so it cost us both kills instead of getting us an extra one. More baby geckos would still be nice. If we got 5th relic, that would obviously be great, but there's not anything that we need in particular at this point. The only thing that I needed was a little more max HP, and we got a Cursed Kraken's Eye, so I would say we're in very good shape now. And we could probably just get the free random stats from the Candy Bag for the rest of the game. I mean, we could certainly win with no more stats, but the free random stat from the Candy Bag for the rest of the game would be more than enough to win with. Let's roll here, and I'll roll again. Yeah, 4 more range damage for our Gatling laser. Take the fin. I'll take the Starfish just for fun, and we'll lock the small fish. The Starfish is not good going into this last wave, though it's going to be closer than you might think, because the extra materials dropped from enemies stat is a little deceptive. It looks like it just increases your income by 15%, but because it's additive with the normal chance that enemies have of dropping materials, which by wave 19 is a lot lower than 100%, it's actually going to increase our actual income by more like 40%. So, spending 200 on the starfish, even on the last wave, may well pay itself back. I do wish that they had the amount of money that starfish had caused to drop as a visible stat. One thing that Evil Empire have done, the new development team for Brotato, is with all of their new items, they added stats. So, like, the candy bag tells you how many stats it gave you, and the fruit baskets tell you how many extra fruits you dropped, which I think is great. So I'm hoping that they can maybe go back and backport stats to some of the old items that I wish had stats, but that don't. Do I want so I have a choice here. I could take 12 crit chance or 21% damage. I'm going to take one of those two. My Shurikens have 100% crit chance. My Gatling laser has 70%. I think I'll just take the 21% damage. I think that'll matter more. And then here, take 10% more damage. Just going up to 66% is good. We'll take the cursed item. I don't really need the missile anymore, but we'll keep the small fish because I just got a bunch of percent damage. The shackles doesn't really do anything. Let's re-roll here. Pearl is 3% damage for 193, so not amazing. Nail is going to be a pretty big boost to our damage, right? It's 40% of our engineering. So yeah, we lose 1 range damage on our Gatling lasers, but we get way more damage than that. So 35 goes up to 40 when we buy it. And then for our Shurikens, it's even better. Then we'll roll here and roll again. And let's take the Cursed Alien Tongue. That'll help us heal a little more, just by picking up consumables more easily if needed. Though I somehow suspect that it won't be needed, and we're going to end this wave without taking too much damage. And it looks like my suspicion was correct. And we have defeated the bosses very, very easily. So, let's take a look at our weapons. So the Gatling laser dealt 30,000 damage in the last wave compared to the Shuriken's 9,000. So swapping into a Gatling laser build did end up working out, although we got a lot of ranged damage that you wouldn't necessarily expect to get. Candy Bag gave us 72 points in stats, and they were randomly distributed, but obviously that was great. Let's take a look at our other items. The Sharp Bullet was awesome. The bag was pretty good, 270 for bag, 40 extra fruits from the fruit basket. Our fishhook actually did pretty well this run. We cursed the Gatling laser, we cursed a couple other items. I'm forgetting which ones, actually. Actually, I don't know if the fishhook really did that much cursing. We just had enough curse that we found a lot of cursed items, because a lot of these I rolled into. Bone dice were... Wow, this was a truly terrible cursed bone dice. You really expect to see... So this, we got a 2-to-1 rate of a 50% versus a 10% chance, right? We got 16 stats, but that means that it only triggered 8 times compared to 4 times that it cost me HP. So the bone dice were really bad. That's funny. Decomposing Flesh gave us 28% lifesteal, which was awesome. 13 levels with Barnacle was, of course, really good. Candy Bag we already looked at. Celery Tea gave me a lot of extra levels, so we finished at level 27. And 100k damage from the Giant's Belt, which most of which was in the last wave as well, so that helped us kill those bosses so much faster. Alright, my friends, hope that you've enjoyed this run, and if you have, feel free to leave a comment and hit like. Helps me out with the algorithm, so I appreciate you taking the time to do that. And of course, you can subscribe to my channel for more Brotato and other strategy game analysis. Cheers, folks. I'll catch you next time.